Hey everybody, it's Tara Green of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Please come on so I can see you. There we go. So I can come on and I can see you here. Um, I always do this. I get a little nervous. I'm an antsy person. And so if the thing does not turn on right at 8 p.m., I go ahead and start it myself. Anyway, I want to welcome you here today. It is December the 30th. It is almost the last day of the year here for us here in Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. It is, I believe, already December 31st for you over there in Australia. And the Cosmic Intelligence Agency hails from Australia. So I don't see anybody there, so please come on and say hi. It says there's 3 viewers. Don't be shy now. I'll wait till more people come on. There's 6. Okay, come and say hi. And please let me know where you're from. I know we usually get regular people who come back all the time. I wanted to do this the day earlier because people would be out doing New Year's things. Hi, Lorian. Let me know where you are. Hi. So, hi, Deborah. Hi, Louise. Hi, Louise. You're always there. It's very nice to see returning people. I am going to wait a few minutes till people get on. I had put out a live thing just on TikTok and on Instagram earlier today, but people may be running around. Hi from Melbourne. People may be running around doing last minute New Year's stuff, but I don't know about you, but I have found the energy to be very, very weird. Mars is retrograde. I'm going to go through all of that. Happy New Year, Susan in BC, my friend Susan. Somebody from Ohio. Welcome, welcome. I'm up here in Toronto, Canada. I am Agent 129, Tara Green of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and I've been an agent for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency for 10 years now. And I love to do this, even if I'm sometimes running around to the last minute like a chicken with my head cut off, a cosmic chicken maybe. But anyway, yeah, so I just want to welcome you all here. If you haven't been here before, if you're new, I'm going to explain how this works. Now, because this is the January 2025 and a 2025 overview, I am going to talk a little bit about the overall energy of 2025, which I am sure you've all heard about from other things. I was on a live panel with Yulia, the CEO of Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and Cassandra Butler and Kathy Rose. We all did a little solstice preview, which was actually took us into March 21st. So if you want to watch that, you can go to the Cosmic Intelligence Agency main page on YouTube and watch that. All right, warmest greetings to everybody. I think everybody's in a little bit of a shock that it's already the end of the year, right? And I think my sense is it's very quiet here, that people are not really going out, but that might be just my point of view. Hi from Delaware. Hi from Arizona. I am going to be back in Sedona. I'm just going to book my flight. I'm going to be back in Sedona all of March and April. So I'm going to be lining up a bunch of things there. I want to make sure I'm going to be there for the 2 eclipses in March. So you want to stay tuned for that. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the overall January 2025 energy because it is a very, very, very rare occurrence that 4 planets are going to change signs this year, and it hasn't happened since 580 BCE. That's before our current era. So that's pretty rare. Okay, pretty rare. That's 2,500 years ago. The planets all changed sign at the same time. So Pluto headed off, everybody, saying, I'm going to stay in Aquarius. I'm taking a 20-year lease on November the 19th till 2044. And then we're going into a whole new age, So Neptune enters Aries March the 30th. It's kind of like, I'd call this year it's a breach birth because Mars, we're entering it with Mars retrograde. That doesn't always happen as well. The new moon today, so happy dark moon. It is a rare, sorry, I just changed speed there. It is a rare black moon, which means 2 new moons in 1 month. There was a new moon in Capricorn also at the beginning of the month. Hi from Southern California. Hi from the Philippines. So this new moon energy, a new moon, just like a full moon, kind of lasts until the first crescent appears in 2.5 days. So it's kind of nice to go into a new year in the dark, just like the baby being conceived in the womb. So that's a really nice energy. Again, because Mars is retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde, Uranus is retrograde, I wouldn't push it, and this is really an artificial year. And one of the things I really want to talk about 2025 is we're going to go into an era of naturalism, okay? All of the fake glamour and the glitz and the guru worshiping and all that stuff is going to be over next year, beginning next year. So 2025 is kind of an appetizer year. It's sort of getting us ready for the big changes that are just starting, but they will fully come into effect in 2026. So kind of like, just get used to the winds of change. And yes, the Bob Dylan, Timothy Chalamet movie, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm all excited about, blowing in the wind. There's no change, no such thing as chance. It's all perfect synchronicity. Bob Dylan's songs 60 years ago, 5 Jupiter returns ago, have come back into the public now, and especially Gen Z, who probably don't know him, or even the millennials who don't know his wonderful songs and his true genius, are being reintroduced to those songs, which are totally relevant because of the planetary alignments that are going on now, which are also mirroring what happened in 1966, 65, 66. Okay, Neptune enters Aries March the 30th, just until October 22nd, but that's a nice long time for us to WTF up after being in this dream since Neptune entered Pisces in 2011. So Neptune usually takes 14 years to go through a sign. So we're kind of going to wake up from being sleepwalkers. It's kind of like we're all collectively, Rip Van Winkle is going to wake up. It's going to be a big shock. Like, where were we, back then? Think about it. Saturn then follows. Saturn enters Aries on May the 24th till September the 1st. Okay, so this is Neptune and Saturn will also meet at last degrees of Pisces, which is also very important because it is the last karmic degree of the zodiac. Now, I'm going to talk about that too much right now. But, and then Uranus enters Gemini, July the 7th to November the 7th. So Uranus in Gemini, trining Pluto in Gemini, everything's going to get very, very airy. And the speed of all of the tech stuff is going to really speed up. Okay. And then Jupiter enters Cancer, where it's exalted. Jupiter is going to be much more of a benefic in 2025 into 2026. It starts June the 9th and it stays all year till June 30th, 2026. So for all you Cancers, this is your big year. It's going to be a year focused on a lot of water, abundance of water, floods, tsunamis. Watch your plumbing. Big emotions, lots of tummy comfort food, lots of staying home, working from home, lots of fertility issues coming up as well. Uranus and Gemini, of course, for all Geminis who like change, you get to kind of be in your zone way more. Gemini's an air sign, of course. And then, Neptune, Saturn, it's like everything that's ephemeral becomes real. So Saturn gets its hard edges taken off of it with Neptune's influence. So it's time to build a new dream, very literally. And basically, it is a new spirituality. So Neptune in Aries is like, Moses talking to God as a burning bush. That's exactly what it's about. So everybody's going to get their own spiritual epiphany. They're all going to be their own guru, their own pope, their own imam, rabbi. It's all about having an imminent one-to-one relationship with the universe, with all that is, with the great mystery. Okay. Again, year starting with Mars retrograde in Leo. It's a breech birth year. Jupiter's retrograde until February the 14th. Mars is retrograde until February 23rd. I'm not going to go into all of that. Chiron is stationary right now because it just stopped and turned direct a few days ago. Venus is also going to go retrograde March the 1st at 10 Aries until April the 12th at 24 Pisces. There are 4 eclipses this year. March 13th, 14th at 23 Virgo. March 29th at 9 Aries with no change. September 7th at 15 plus Pisces, and September 21st at 29 Virgo. The nodes of the moon are moving backwards, January 11th. Also, that's what I mainly focused on in that Cosmic Intelligence Agency winter solstice thing, so you can go watch that. Yeah, so new art, new aesthetics. Again, my prediction is all the glamour is going to go. Somebody from India, hello, welcome. I didn't even bother to redo my nails because I thought, you know what? This is what it's going to be like. People are not going to care about dressing up or fashion or anything. So all of that is going. And then Saturn in Aries, for all of those born in 96, 7, 8, you're going to have your first Saturn return as well. So I will get to January's issues. I'm kind of mindful of the time here. The last time Neptune entered Aries in 1861, the next day, the American Civil War broke out. So there is lots of war signatures. I have to say that. January is going to be pretty intense as well. Neptune in Aries, there was a lot of photography became popular. A lot of famous books were published. Saturn in Aries last happened during the Second World War. Uranus was in Gemini during the scientific revolution. So a lot of things repeating, a lot of major cycles. So Saturn in Libra millennials will really get hit if you're born in 1980 to 83. The millennials are going to get hit with Saturn opposite your sign. Okay. So, all right. So I just want to also talk about how I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my tarot cards. When we start a new year, it is just like, in the tarot. The beginning of the tarot is 0, the Fool. And the Fool is the symbol of being enlightened. So let's start this year living totally in the moment with not worrying about the future and not worrying about the past, just being totally present. That's the wisdom, the enlightenment of the Fool. Okay. It is a new beginning. It's a new moon. So it is time to make new intentions. This is the symbol of the magician in the tarot. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, the most popular one in the world, my big teaching deck. And 2025 reduces to the number 9. So this is a hermit year, a universal number 9 year. It will be a year of endings. Again, we're going to be finishing up what we started 10 years before in 2014. So the hermit, the number 9, is a very special card. It is like Virgo energy. So the overall emphasis is going to be on Virgoan energy, Earth, which I think is good because I'm a little bit all the planets moving into fire and air. It's like when you blow on a fire, it just gets bigger, and it's winds. The winds have changed. Definitely. Everything is blowing in the wind. So, how do you hang on? You have to breathe. You have to breathe through it. It's like a woman giving birth. When you're in labor, they tell you to breathe. So remember to breathe and remember to stay grounded. Again, the south node of the moon will be in Virgo, just like the hermit. So the hermit is a very auspicious card. Again, it is usually just like this. Is the traditional hermit, an old man with a gray beard and a profile holding the lamp. So the lamp that the hermit holds is your own inner light. So the hermit usually represents a stage in life where you give up all your worldly possessions and you go on a spiritual quest. This is the archetypal heroes or heroines or spiritual journey. And so if you get lost and if you feel like you're in the dark, the hermit is your own inner light. So by listening within to your gut instincts, there's a lot of talk about your gut and gut health these days. And it's true, your gut was always a metaphor for your intuition. In ancient times, they would do divination with animal guts. I know that may sound gross to a lot of people, and it is, but anyway, it's more about trusting your own gut intuition or trusting your body will always tell you exactly what to do. It's not woo-woo necessarily out there. Remember, we're going through a new spiritual cataclysm with Neptune and Aries coming up, and then we're going to still be on the cusp. It's going to be really a cuspy year with the planets moving forward, moving back, just giving us a little foretaste of what's going on, a little foreplay there maybe before they commit in 2026. And February 20th, 2026 is when Saturn and Neptune meet at 0 Aries, which is very important because it's the first degree of the zodiac. So the hermit, paying attention to your gut wisdom. It's going to be a year of belt tightening, of budgets. That's the hermit. They love to save money. They love budgets. They're accountants. They're accountable. It is very intellectual, very analytical, kind of mercurial rule. Mercury rules Virgo. And listening again to the gut, so paying attention to your gut health, I think, is going to be a big issue. And health in general. Clean food, clean eating, getting the toxins out of the food. I think people are waking up to how much crap there is in all the processed food. Growing your own food, being on the land, earthing, all of that stuff. Okay, so let's get down to January. Okay, so I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. It'll be under a Capricorn moon, and then the moon moves into Aquarius. So kind of very similar, echoing what we've been through. On January the 2nd, I'm just going to go through a little overview, and then I'm going to do the details here. Venus will enter Pisces, January 2nd. January the 3rd, Venus enters Pisces until February the 3rd. So Venus is exalted in Pisces, and when planets are in their exaltation or the signs that they're very happy to be in, it's very compassionate, very forgiving, very charitable, okay, and very empathetic. So everybody's going to be lots of feels. Everybody's going to be feeling everybody else's feelings. very creative. Working with your dream work, still very important to do that while Saturn's in Pisces. On January the 6th, Mars retrogrades back into Cancer. January the 8th, Mercury enters Capricorn. On January the 19th, the Sun enters Aquarius. On January the 13th, there's a Cancer full moon at 24 degrees of Cancer. On January 27th, Mercury enters Aquarius. On January 29th, there's a new moon at 9 Aquarius. On January the 30th, Uranus stations direct. It's been retrograde for a number of months. So the details, it's all about the details in a hermit year. So starting on New Year's Eve, as we hit 2025, bango, going from a number 8 to a number 9 year. Okay, so you want to remember to put all of your finishing touches, your editing, your life in order, whatever it is you need to do, pay attention to those details. Everything is in the details. So on the 2nd, the Sun will quincunx or in conjunct Jupiter, which is still retrograde in Gemini, 13 degrees. So an in conjunct or a quincunx is when planets or luminaries, the Sun is a luminary, of course, can't see the other planet. They're 150 degrees apart. They're in 5 signs apart. So anytime planets are 5 signs apart, they're in this in conjunct aspect. And so literally it's a blind spot. It's like when you try to park the car. I know it sounded so Canadian, right? Okay, 7:18 p.m. PST, 10:18 p.m. EST, and it's on January the 3rd at 3:18 a.m. GMT. So just be careful because there could be good luck, actually. Jupiter is still a great benefic, even in Gemini, where it's a little bit weak. There could be good news in the mail or a great text or something that makes you very happy. When Venus enters Pisces at 7:24 p.m. PST, 10:24 p.m. EST, and on the 3rd at 3:24 a.m. GMT until February the 3rd. So it's nice. Enjoy that nice month. Be creative. Again, there's no rush to move forward to make any New Year's resolutions this year, especially with Mars retrograde, because the new year really begins at spring equinox. That is the old natural way to do it, because we're going to get back to original nature. That's also Aries, kind of original nature. Don't bother. Don't stress yourself out about that. This is not really the new year. It's just Julius Caesar's artificial, January the 1st. Anyway, Romans, maybe, the guys like the Romans, right? Okay. January the 2nd. Now, that is a difficult day, so be careful. Also, Mars-Pluto opposition. Okay, very intense at 11:21 p.m. PST. It's at 1 degree, 2:21 a.m. EST, and 7:21 a.m. GMT. So be very careful. That is a war signature. I'm sorry to say. Be very careful, because I think people are sort of on eggshells these days. It's true. So, but old anger may come up at this point in time. Mars at, it's at 1 degree. On the 3rd, also Mercury in conjunct Uranus. So again, quirky text, weird things. I've been getting that for the last while myself. 23 degrees, 11:19 a.m. PST, 2:19 p.m. EST, 7:19 p.m. GMT. And then on the 3rd, Venus quincunx Mars at 29 Pisces. 3:41 p.m. PST, 6:41 p.m. EST, 11:41 p.m. GMT. On the 4th, the Sun and Saturn sextile each other. That's a nice supportive energy at 14 Pisces. I'm not going to go through all the timing here for the lesser aspects. The sextile is a nice aspect. So you just want to pay attention to that. Middle degrees, Pisces, Capricorn. Okay, January 6th, Mars re-entering Cancer at 2:44 a.m. PST, 5:44 a.m. EST, 10:44 a.m. GMT until it stations February 23rd at 17 Cancer. So for all you Cancerians there can be old childhood issues, old childhood wounds, old issues with your mom, with women, with your home. Could be water in your home. Be careful, flooding. Very literally, the astrology symbols are very, very literal, actually. On the 6th, Mercury squares Neptune at 27 Pisces, 5:56 a.m. PST, 8:56 a.m. EST, 1:56 p.m. GMT. On the 7th, Mercury and Sag, again, in conjunct Mars at 29 Cancer. Mercury enters Capricorn on January the 8th, 2:30 a.m. PST, 5:30 a.m. EST, 10:30 a.m. GMT to January 27th. January 8th, the Sun squares Chiron at 19 Aries. That's the same degree as the April the 8th total solar eclipse. So just be aware of whatever wounding, whatever was going on there. comes up again 5:54 p.m. PST, 8:54 p.m. EST, January the 9th at 1:54 a.m. GMT. Mars trines Neptune on the 12th, Sun trines Uranus at 23 Taurus on the 13th. So be careful of techie snafus, but that could be a good one. It could be very creative breakthroughs as well. The full moon at 24 Cancer is at 2:27 p.m. PST, 5:27 p.m. EST, 10:27 p.m. GMT. January the 14th, Venus in Pisces squares Jupiter at 12 Gemini. That's a good one. Those are the two benefics, and even though they're squaring off, they can be good for each other. 11:48 a.m. PST, 2:48 p.m. EST, 7:48 p.m. GMT. And January the 15th, now watch out for this day too. Sun opposes Mars retro in Cancer at 25 degrees at 6:39 p.m. PST, 9:39 p.m. EST, and 2:39 a.m. GMT on the 16th. On the 16th, Mercury in Capricorn quincunx Jupiter. On the 17th, the Sun sextiles Neptune at 27 plus Pisces. It's very good for creative, spiritual work, practicing meditation, visualization. On the 18th, Venus conjunct Saturn at 15 plus Pisces. Now that can be a good day to sign a contract, to get married, to get engaged. It's a long-term Venus conjunct Saturn. Can bring up issues with your father, with your ancestors. It can be a good day to contact your ancestors in Pisces, especially do ancestral work. 5:26 p.m. PST, 8:26 p.m. EST, and on the 19th at 1:26 a.m. GMT. I know you're getting restless here. I'm trying to speed this up. January the 18th, Mercury sextiles Saturn and Venus on the 19th. So that's nice positive aspects. In those days, we need some relief. On the 19th, the Sun enters Aquarius at 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. GMT. So it's Aquarius's turn to shine. And of course, Mercury squares Chiron on the 21st at 19 Aries. Again, talking about your wounds, writing them out. 12:06 a.m. PST, 3:06 a.m. EST, 8:06 a.m. GMT. January 21st, the Sun and Pluto conjunct. That's a big Kazemi, very special. Pluto in the heart of the Sun. 4:29 a.m. PST, 7:29 a.m. EST, 12:29 p.m. GMT at 1 degree of Aquarius. So that is a really good time. That's really wealth. Pluto is wealth. It's the lord of the underworld. It's a really great time. It's like a resurrection time. Of course, Donald Trump is supposed to be inaugurated on the 20th in all of these energies going on. On January 23rd, Mercury opposes Mars at 23 degrees. Again, this can be angry words. Mars is retrograde, angry battles, family arguments. 12:49 p.m. PST, 3:49 p.m. EST, 8:49 p.m. GMT. On January 23rd, Mercury trines Uranus. On January 25th, Venus in Pisces trines Mars. That's a very nice romantic energy. Go out and have a romantic date. 22 degrees, that's 3:54 p.m. PST, 6:54 p.m. EST, 11:54 p.m. GMT. And there's a Mercury sextile on January 26th and a Venus sextile Uranus also on the 26th. And Mercury enters Aquarius on the 27th at 6:53 p.m. PST, 9:53 p.m. EST, January 28th at 2:53 a.m. GMT. Mercury conjuncts Pluto on January 28th at 1 degree, 1 plus degree. That's a good one for deep, deep thinking. You want to get to the bottom of things. You're researching. You're going to figure out who killed who in that mystery murder. 11:52 p.m. PST, and on the 29th at 2:52 a.m. EST, 7:52 a.m. GMT. The new moon's on the 29th at 9 Aquarius plus at 4:36 a.m. PST, 7:36 a.m. EST, 12:36 p.m. GMT. And on the 30th, Uranus stations direct. So all of those techie things that have been working back, or your breakthroughs, or your freedom, or the revolutions that were held back are going to start now. We are in this mini age of Aquarius as Uranus stations direct. That revolution, people not listening to the status quo anymore, got to be free, is going to take over. 8:22 a.m. PST, 11:22 a.m. EST, 4:22 p.m. GMT, and then the last day of January, almost the last day of January, 30th, the Sun trines Jupiter. That's a beautiful, beautiful positive aspect at 11 plus degrees, Aquarius, Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or any air sign, that's beneficial to you. 2:59 p.m. PST, 5:59 p.m. EST, 10:59 p.m. GMT. All right, got through that part. Okay, so, all right, so this is the way this works now. You've been all waiting for this part, I know. All right, so I'm going to smudge everybody virtually. here because we're going into a sacred space. And I'm going to smudge my cards. So I'm going to use this big Rider-Waite Smith. I also include Smith for Pamela Coleman Smith, who created that beautiful deck in 6 months and died a pauper. And then I'm going to use this beautiful Heindel Tarot, which I got gifted Christmas for as well. Okay, I'm going to get this paperwork out of the way here. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my special crystal, my Herkimer Diamond Crystal. Looks like an alien skull there. And I'm going to use the big deck first, and then I'm going to pick cards for each sign. So starting with Aries and moving through the zodiac. So I'm going to give one major card here with this major deck, and then another card, a helper card. So wait, let's do it this way, because we're talking about January, and we're also talking about 225. So let's do, okay, changing it up here. Let's do, I'm going to use the smaller deck for January and the larger deck for an overall for each sign. How about that? Okay. So Aries, this deck also has this beautiful eye. Okay. So Aries, let's see what you got for January. Let's just do January 2025 first. Okay. You get the card of the star here, and this is a very different kind of energy here, the way this deck is made, the star number 17. It does have the Hebrew letter, and it's got a rune on it as well. It's kind of very beautiful, a rose blooming under it. Looks like almost a midnight sun. So for Aries, of course, yeah, you're going to be pushing the edge here, of course, with Saturn and Neptune in your sign here, not in January, but overall. So you want to be the star of the show, very literally. That's only, oh, it's the card of the sun here. I said the star. Okay, the card of the sun here. Sorry. So Aries, okay, find your light, find your inner light. You are the first sign of the zodiac. You're the initiators. You're the burning bush. You're the big bang itself. So you need to shine your light. So get ready to light it up. I know Mars is retrograde, so it's a little hard for you to do that right now. So remember that you're still have your inner light, even if your ruling planet is moving retrograde, and especially as it moves back into Cancer, you're going to feel like you're treading water and underwater and drowning and all that stuff, metaphorically. So stay connected to what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what brings you light in the dark, very literally in the dark right now. Okay, now Aries, let's do an overview. What has Aries got happening for 2025? Okay, Aries, you get the devil. All right, so the number 15 here, it is Capricorn energy. Now, as Neptune enters Aries and Saturn enters Aries, of course, all of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, will get squared. I know. Aries. Okay, so you might be, everybody might hate you, of course. That's, Aries is going to get the hate because people are not going to like these big changes. So you got to be ready to defend yourself and to laugh actually at it all. So don't fall prey. Don't get into your head. Don't sell your soul to the devil, Aries, just because Saturn's there and Neptune's there and you think you know it all and it's all about you. It is all about you, but be careful you don't get caught in your own shadow. That's what the devil is really all about. So make sure, again, you stay connected to the light. Okay, the light, Aries. Okay. All right. So, Taurus. What has Taurus got for January? Okay. Taurus gets the devil as well. Okay, I'm getting the devil out of the way here. All right, so Taurus, the devil. I know you've been feeling bedeviled by Uranus in Taurus, and that's going to be over soon. But just think about the hard work you do. Maybe you're feeling like you're not being appreciated for all the hard work you do. There can be struggles with money. What's bedeviling you financially. Taurus is all about money, or your body could be having health issues coming up. So look into this on a deeper level. The devil, is about selling your soul to the devil. Are you doing something that isn't really authentic? And authenticity is going to be one of the keywords for you in January. So start to think about that as well. So don't sell your soul to the devil. Don't get seduced. Be true to yourself. Listen to your gut instincts. That's really major in January with all of this change going on. Mars retrograding from Leo to Cancer, for everybody, it just changes the energy from fire into water. So there could be some deep emotional work that you will have to be doing when Mars goes back into Cancer, Taurus. Okay. All right. So let's pick a card for Taurus for 2025. Okay. You get the Emperor. Okay, the number 4. So this is all about power. So Taurus, you want to be consolidating your power. You want to start a new base. You want to own your own wisdom, your power. It's Aries energy. So it's very interesting because it will be about starting new beginnings. It can be issues with your boss, an authority figure, but it's really about you squaring things off and remembering to work with the 4 elements. You know, Taurus is very earthy. So by working with the 4 elements, you'll stay in balance. So that's fire, earth, air, water. Again, are you ready to own your own power? Now, that might be what's bedeviling you, you know, Taurus. Is like you feel kind of confused about where your power is. So this is where you need to stop and reset. So again, this is Aries energy for you, Taurus, represents new beginnings in January. Okay, all right, so let's get to Gemini. All right, so Geminis, with Jupiter retrograding, you know, I know you're feeling frustrated because things are not moving ahead. And you get the Hierophant, the number 5. So the number 5 in this deck here, in this beautiful deck here, the number 5 is about listening to your own higher self. But it does represent, all of the 5s represent doing things the hard way. So Geminis, I know you get easily frustrated mentally anyway, especially when Mercury goes retrograde in any sign. But don't get frustrated. If you listen, again, stay grounded, which is something that Geminis struggle with. I find that all signs that are not earth signs have more trouble working with the earth plane, the material world, than most other signs. Water works better with earth, but fire and air do not. And so staying grounded is the key here, Taurus. And again, you want to start, not that this is really the new year, but you want to kind of start the month off feeling more grounded. It also can be going for more money or making things with your hands, a hobby, something creative. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so that might really help you, you know, or you could be just buying, selling new things, changing things up a bit for you. So again, Taurus, indulge yourself. Okay. All right. So Gemini, let's see what you've got for this year. Get the card of Justice here. So in this deck, traditionally the number 11 is Justice. In other decks, it's number 8. So Gemini, Justice, it's Libra, as you can see. Everybody can see it's Libra. So you may be wanting to get married. There may be legal issues. You want to make sure you get some balance in your life. You're going to try and get balance with Jupiter retrograde and all these planets moving ahead. So you want to stabilize yourself in some way. Again, get some peace of mind. So what is it going to take you to get some peace of mind, Gemini? Again, issues about socializing, relationships, Libra, legal stuff. You know, you always want people to like you. Maybe you increase your likability quotient here or your social status in some ways. But anyway, be more graceful. There's nothing wrong with being graceful. Again, a time of beauty, allowing more beauty into your life as well. Okay, so Cancer now. We're just dealing with January. All right, so Cancer, let's see what you've got. Cancer gets the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter will enter your sign later this year, of course. So before you get there into your big year, maybe you should be paying attention to the details with Gemini right now. And so it can be a very fertile time coming. So again, if you're wanting to expand your home, your family, anything of that nature, expand your creativity, your compassion, working with women, children. There's a creative project. Wheel of Fortune is related to Jupiter, publishing, traveling. You want to get those wheels in motion. Buy the lottery tickets, Cancer. It's very good for you. You want to stay upbeat. You want to stay optimistic. Again, Mars will enter your sign. And so it will activate a lot of old emotions, maybe a lot of trauma. It's good to seek out help. It's good to stay optimistic. It's good to remember that things are always changing and you're not going to be stuck in one emotion all the time. So the Wheel of Fortune, positive energy, trust, have faith, Cancer, in January. Okay, so Cancer, here's what you get to guide you for 2025. Okay, you get the Tower. Okay, so again, things are going to change big time. So your structure can change, not necessarily a bad thing. People fear the Tower, but it is not a bad thing. I just got an email from someone this morning, asked me about this. Not a bad thing. It's a wake-up call. I always like to think of this as an epiphany a blow your mind kind of energy, which can be good, you know. So Cancer, maybe you should start thinking outside the box, you know. Maybe you should start planning on doing things totally different. You know, the winds of change again for Cancer. Um, an old structure, an old relationship, maybe a toxic relationship is over because you can't take it anymore. That can be a good thing. Cancers tend to accommodate everybody. So the Tower here can be a good thing. May just mean a change of plans, can be frustrating, you know, with Mars retrograde, but you'll be fine. Remember, you've got the Wheel of Fortune on your side. All right. So Leo, how are all you kings and queens doing out there? Okay. Leo, you get the Hermit. Okay, so again, this is the overall emphasis of 2025. So Leo, you got to really take this Mars retrograding from Leo into Cancer very, very seriously and really be the hermit for a while. You know, get off the stage, give somebody else a chance. Just, you know, give yourself a break. Go to your dressing room, take off the makeup. Yeah, get down to the nitty gritty, the really essential. What do you need? You know, if the house was on fire, I take it out of the law. What would you need to survive? It's kind of that energy. And really just, you know, maybe close your phone, stop being on social media, take a big break in January. I mean, we're up here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter. We should be sleeping like bears. We should be hibernating. So, Leo, maybe take your cues from nature. That's the Hermit. Watch your diet, watch what you eat, start an eat clean diet, take account of your affairs. You know, maybe there's taxes, maybe there's old paper issues, maybe there's just cleaning up your space. Okay, but be a hermit. It's okay. It's good. You have to like your own company. I mean, it's one thing in a way. It's kind of a cliche that people who become stars, it's because they crave attention because they never feel they got it. You know, so pay attention to your own inner wisdom. That's what the hermit is all about, Leo. Okay, so Leo, what do you get for 2025? Okay, you get the Empress. Okay, the Empress. This is like Venus energy, very fertile, very creative, nurturing, nursing, taking care of children, taking care of the family, taking care of your mom, taking care of whoever is the queen of your heart, and also taking care of your inner feminine. I know there's all the gender stuff, but these are archetypal energies. So this is time to be creative. So Leo, get off the stage, stay home, get in the woods, be the hermit, and be creative. Maybe just go on nature walks, pay attention to the nature that's around you, pay attention to the beauty that's all around you. Okay, stop obsessing about yourself. Pay attention to the beauty around, give love, receive love, be creative. Leos are very creative, they're heart-centered. Maybe it's time to really nurture what your heart really wants. There can be a relationship coming in your life as well, an expansion, creative endeavors. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so Virgo, hi from the UK. All right, so please let me know your comments here. Okay, so we're on Virgo. Virgo gets the Fool. This is the Fool in this deck. So the Fool, 0 and 22, the end and the beginning, the Alpha and Omega. So Virgo, as we're going into 2025 year, which is a Virgo year, in some ways, you need to be in a state of enlightenment about who you are and what you do, because in a way, everybody's going to want to follow your lead. So it's about not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, being fully in the present. That is difficult for Virgos, who tend to be the worrywarts of the zodiac. So just be in the now, whatever it takes you to be in the now. If you have mental tricks, if you have reprogramming things for the new year, reprogram yourself. And yes, I am doing horoscopes for the new year. I did that earlier. I'm also just going to pull a major arcana for the year ahead as well. So be the Fool. Don't worry what people think, Virgos. Be true to yourself. The Fool is your authentic inner child. So it could be time to do some healing of your inner child work as well. So you can stop worrying. Bring out that golden child. That's what the Fool is all about. And trust the universe. Okay. Now, Virgos. So what Virgos get for 2025? They also get the Fool. Okay. Here you go. 2 fools for the price of 1. Okay, so be a doubly fool. Be a fool for love. Don't worry what people think. The Fool is the card of enlightenment, Virgo, and Virgos are very intellectual And they like wisdom, they like intelligence, they remember. So the fool, the divine wisdom of the fool is that you are an old soul. You've already been around the block a million times. The fool represents the soul, the volunteering to step off the cliff and come back into incarnation. Virgo is an earth sign. It's about incarnating. So again, don't worry about a thing. You're divinely taken care of. Okay, very freeing. Okay, so Libra. What do Libras get for January? First I'm doing January, and then I'm going to do a year. Okay, you get the number 14, which is called alchemy in this card, just like it is in the Thoth Tarot. So being the alchemist, I don't know if you've read that little wonderful book by Paulo Coelho. It's a good read, very easy. The inner alchemist, you're changing, you're combining one thing into the other. It's turning lead, which is Saturn, into gold, which is the sun. So this can be your alchemical time to change again, a time to look at things in a new way. It is Sagittarius energy, Libra, and Libra and Sag are in positive aspects to each other. So what do you need to alchemize or change or to turn into gold, or take that old fabric and repurpose it, or reupholster your couch, or redo your relationship ideals, or whatever it is you want. Redo your social structure, your social media, your creative endeavors, whatever that is. Alchemize them, realize your power, Libra. You don't need to depend on anybody else. The overall energy is about the self in 2025. Okay. So yeah, I think the Alchemist is a lovely card for Libra to have. And it could be about planning travels as well. Okay, Sagittarius, going back to school, Libra, getting a new pet. Okay, so let's see, what does Libra get? Libra gets the moon here, the number 18. Now this is the dark side of the moon. This is about fear. So Libras, what are you most afraid of? By confronting our fears, we can deal with them in a much better way. We bring them out into the light. When they're in the dark, when they're like the scary thing in the closet, they're more fearful than if you open the closet and shine a light in there. So again, Libras, this is a test of your faith. So it is an analogy of being born again. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where you're going. I know people go into a lot of fear, but again, I think this is a lot about developing faith in your body, trusting your instincts. The moon is instinctual. That's what the wolves are baying at the moon. This is a full moon kind of energy, and you will be reborn again. The tarot works in a sequence. The moon comes before the sun. So this is the dark night of the soul for Librans. I know for a lot of you, you've just gotten over Pluto aspecting you for the last, since 2008. So you may still feeling like you're in a bit of a fog there, but you're going to come out the other side. Okay, so Scorpio. So Scorpios, again, as Pluto's in the beginning of Aquarius, it is squaring the first degrees of Scorpio here. So you get the Empress, okay, the number 3, the Empress. So Scorpio, this is Venus energy. So I know Mars, your leading planet, is retrograde right now. So you could be overhauling, releasing, letting go of old relationships, old habit patterns. And this is Venus. So allowing yourself, maybe you need to learn to love yourself more. Could be very creative with Mars retrograde, going back and finishing old projects, financial issues, wills, testaments, letting go of toxic relationships. It can be very freeing, actually. So the Empress brings benefit. She brings love. She brings beauty, harmony, the arts, creativity, and fertility. Okay. So Scorpio, this is a good energy. Could be your mother, could be working with women, children, food, anything that nurtures yourself and other people. Okay. So Scorpio, let's see what you get. All right. Scorpio, what do you get for 2025? You get the Chariot. Okay. So this is the number 7 here. It's about you being fully in the driver's seat, Scorpio. Again, with Mars retrograde going back into Cancer, I think it's affecting Scorpios quite a lot in January. So you're always in the driver's seat, no matter what the planets and the stars are saying. I know that sounds ironic from astrologers. I love the stars. We all love the stars and the planets here. But ultimately, you get to choose where you're at with those things. I mean, the planets don't make us do anything. They impel us, but we can still choose how we want to respond to those energies. It is quantum entanglement. We are all entanglement with all of the other galaxies, universes, planets, quasars, all of that stuff throughout the universe. But we are firmly situated in our emotional bodies. And Scorpio is the most emotional sign there is. So this is like Cancerian energy. It's about nurturing yourself, Scorpio. It's about healing, I think, inner child wounds as well. Okay. So Scorpio, number 7, paying attention to divine timing. 7 days of the week, 7 chakras, 7 musical notes. Are you in divine timing, Scorpio? Okay. Hi from New Zealand. Okay, so Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, let's see what's happening for you in January. You get the Emperor. So the Emperor, the number 4, again, stay balanced, stay grounded, stay focused. It is Aries. There's new beginning, new energy coming up for you, Sagittarius. Again, for all of the fire signs, as I'm looking ahead here, as Neptune and Aries enter, Neptune and Saturn enter Aries, it's good for all the fire signs. So Sagittarius and Leo will benefit from that by trines. So the Emperor, yeah, you are the boss. Don't forget that you're the king or the queen. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. This is your sage wisdom time. It's time to maybe make a new business or a new friendship or a new work. Entrepreneurial things could be a boss, could be a raise, could be a promotion. Your father, the Emperor represents your father, Sagittarius. And even if your dad's passed on, he's still watching over you. You want to pay attention to that as well. Again, working with the 4 elements keeps you balanced, Sagittarius. All right. So what does Sagittarius get for 2025? I know I'm going a little bit longer because I talked about more things. Also the Hierophant here. So the number 5. So the number 5 is about totally listening to your higher self, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a mystic sign. I'm a double Sagittarius. The Hierophant could be a spiritual awakening for you. Could be a spiritual connection. Maybe you need to go talk to a spiritual leader, somebody who'll give you some wisdom. Maybe you need to bounce something off someone. If you don't listen to your higher self, Sagittarius, you're just going to make things harder for yourself. And you know this. We all forget sometimes. We're not perfect. So the Hierophant, be aware of a spiritual epiphany. Listen to your higher self. This is talk to your holy guardian angel. All right. So Capricorn. So what does Capricorn get for 2025? You get the number 2, the High Priestess. Okay. So Capricorn, this is the moon. So as the moon is in new moon, black moon in Capricorn right now, Capricorn, pay attention very closely at this new moon. Again, you're kind of need to give yourself some TLC because you just finished, Pluto messing with you. And it won't do it again for another 245 years. So the High Priestess, listen to your dreams. Pay attention to your intuition. Saturn's in Pisces, so it's really accentuating your intuition, your feelings. Capricorns are very emotional. They just don't like to show it, right? So High Priestess, what are you dreaming of? It's also balance. All the 2s are balanced. It could be a woman coming into your dreams. It could be a real woman coming into your life. It's about using your intellect and your imagination and your intuition. Okay, so don't deny that, Capricorn. Okay, so you're holding the gateway up. You can see through the veil of illusion, Capricorn. So there may be some shocking, oh, wow, I didn't realize that was really going on. All right, okay. So Capricorns, what do you get for 2025? We all have to get used to saying 2025, right? Okay, Capricorns, you get temperance. Yeah, temperance. Okay, so the number 14, temperance, sometimes it's called alchemy in the other decks. Again, there's your guardian angel. Okay. Pay attention to your guardian angel. Now, this could be an ancestor who's passed on. It could be your mom, your dad, an aunt, a grandmother, a grandfather, back through time, watching over you. It's about making sure you're in balance. Tempering means taking one element and blending it with another to make a third. It's like how they make brass. So your tempering angel will get you to tone it down a little bit, maybe even pushing too hard, working too hard, too ambitious, Mars retrograde is slowing everybody down. So I would say temperance is a good thing. Maybe you need to watch your alcohol consumption, your drug consumption, or your denial. Maybe you're vaping all the time. So get that in balance, Capricorn. Okay. All right, so now we're at Aquarius. All right. Aquarius, you get the moon, number 18. Okay, again, this is illusions, delusions, the dark side of the moon. It can be fear. So Aquarius, what are you most afraid of? We don't think of Aquarius as being a fearful sign because they're in their heads a lot, but that doesn't mean they're not emotional and they don't have feelings. Everybody has feelings and we're in our feeling bodies. So this can be a time of great transition. Again, if you're a woman who's given birth naturally to a baby, the transition is when the baby moves down the birth canal. I always use this metaphor with this card. The baby doesn't know where it's going, but it's still connected to its mother. It can feel its heartbeat. So listen to the heartbeat of the mother. You might want to drum a little bit. If you have, hi Yulia, you want to drum a little bit. Where was I here? Aquarius. Yeah, go out and watch the moon. Maybe you just need to do some moon magic and really bathe in the moon. You can still gather up the moon's beams even in the new moon. That's I love dark moons actually. My friend is a beautiful dark moon lodge. Shout out to my friend Maureen. You're supposed to be sitting in the dark. So I think going into the 2025 in the dark is a really good thing. Also, we find it's very magical, like the moon, just to turn out all the lights. Even if you do that when you're living in the city, it shifts the energy. So shifting your energy, Aquarius, and really paying attention to the lunar cycles, which is tied to your dreams. Your sleep cycles may be off. You may be needing to adjust some of that stuff as well. Paying attention to your dreams, being a night creature more, transition time. Okay, so what does Aquarius get? I don't know what she's laughing at. Hi, Yulia. What does Aquarius get for 2025? All right, you get the Hangman. Okay, now this is one of the three major special cards in the tarot: the Hangman, Judgment, and the Fool. Those are the three major special cards. So, Aquarius, don't get hung up too much. Maybe Pluto and Aquarius has gone to your head, so you have to turn that head upside down and stay, again, grounded. The Hangman is one of the only tarot cards connected to the Nordic myths. This is, if you're a fan of Thor, this is Odin, his father, who voluntarily turned himself upside down and hung himself by his ankle on the world tree to get new knowledge. This is actually how he gained the knowledge to create the runic alphabet, which they're going back and using again. They're going back to their pagan roots, which is great. So the Hangman, don't get caught up. Aquarius, don't be the scapegoat. Maybe everybody's hating on you because Pluto's in Aquarius for the next 20 years. You know, this is about getting your knowledge, your wisdom in a different way. Aquarius is very spacious. You know, we're going into space exploration. We're going out there. So it's a kind of counterbalance to remember that really our whole point here, even for Aquarius, for all signs, is to be connected to the earth, to the more feminine energies here. So things could flip very quickly, Aquarius, for you. Don't be the sacrificial victim. Don't be the blame. Don't be the scapegoat. The scapegoat is especially tied with the new year, actually, and it's an old Roman tradition to actually take all the sins from the past year and blame it on a goat and then send it out of town. So don't be that scapegoat, Aquarius. Remember that Aquarius is still ruled by Saturn, okay? So Saturn in Pisces is telling you to surrender. You can't control everything, Aquarius. It's like let go, let the universe take care of it. It could be a bit of a spiritual initiation for you as well. All right. So now we're at Pisces. So Pisces, let's see what you got here. All right. Pisces. You also get the Hangman. Now this has happened twice, okay? You get to see it in real time here. 2 Hangman, 2 Fools, both of which are what they call kind of initiatory energy. So the Hangman, you can see it's got Neptune on it here. Now these 3 major cards here are not traditionally tied to the outer planets. Of course, I do use the outer planets. So this one is very obviously Neptunian though. So for Pisces, this is your ruling planet, Neptune, nearing its ending of being in your sign since 2011. This is a time you can see there's a beautiful rainbow on it. And the rainbow bridge always represents a sign from heaven that everything's going to be okay, Pisces. Your dreams, again, the Hangman. Trust in your dreams. Trust in the rainbow body. Trust in opening all your chakras. Maybe it's time for you to really stay grounded in the body, even though there are spiritual energy centers paying attention to your chakras. It's a sign of a gift coming to you as well, I would say, Pisces. Again, letting go of the no more victimhood, no more scapegoats, especially Neptune, Pisces ruled. You have to get ready that you're going to become the warriors, the spiritual warriors, as your ruling planet enters Aries. So you got to start getting into training right now, maybe, I would say in January. Again, surrender what isn't yours. You don't need to carry the burden of the world around. Let go of all your COVID PTSD that you've done that for long enough. It's about freedom. It's about liberation. It's about surrender. Surrender what you don't need to carry. Okay. Trust yourself. Trust in your spiritual essence. Okay. Okay. Somebody said their dad's in heaven. They miss him. My dad's in heaven too. All right. So Pisces. Okay. You get the high priestess. Okay. So this is the moon. Again, so for Pisces, who are very spiritual, very imaginative, dreamy, creative, the high priestess, the number 2, will help to give you some balance here. The number 2s are always communicating with the logical and the intuitive side. Again, this is a good thing, I think, with the hangman. So as you let go, you're going to need to reestablish some kind of balance. The high priestess guards the secrets of the mysteries, and Pisces are all about the mysteries. So the moon represents reflecting, a time of reflection here over 2025 for Pisces. Again, you're going to go through a big shift, a mind shift for sure in 2025. So listen to your dreams, stay grounded, stay connected to your feelings. And what else can I say for the high priestess? Talk to her, invite her in. She is a dream guide. She's a wisdom guide. She will help you pay attention to the moons. Again, we're in the dark moon. I think it's very auspicious to go into 2025 on a dark moon. So I would retreat. I would get into a bath. I would take a big spiritual bath, a cleansing. I think for everybody before New Year's, that's a tradition. And, I know it's already December 31st, but it's early in the day. So pay some attention, set your new intentions at this new moon for everyone in 2025. But don't push the river, don't push the river. Feel things out first. Okay, don't push the river. It's not time to rush ahead right now. Reflect, 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 and give thanks. Gratitude. Pisces is a gratitude for what we went through in 2024. So I want to thank you all for being here. Wishing you many, many blessings for 2025. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarottarot.com. I'm going to be doing workshops. I am going to Sedona, like I said. So it's going to be, if you want to join me in Sedona, March and April, I'm really happy to go back there. Yulia and I met there 10 years ago, actually. And we went to Flagstaff, to where Pluto was discovered as a pilgrimage. So wishing you all the best blessings. And again, join the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Again, sending you all the best for 2025. Okay, speak to you next month. Okay, blessings.